Alright, I am going to show you basically how to capture footage with HD Workflow Final Cut. I have here selected basically your a card. A card is selected right here. Here's the contents of the card. You don't want to do anything with this. You basically want to keep that the way it is. You go into Final Cut. So you have to wait for this to come up here. Normally what I would do is I would take the contents of this folder and I would make a new folder on a hard drive, and I'd copy all the contents onto that hard drive as sort of a vault of content, and that will allow you to go back to it whenever you want to. Basically you're just copying the original stuff so you can clear off the card after the fact. And it's good to do that. It's good to back everything up in its raw state before you even transcode it. When I say raw state, I mean these files right here are basically data files. They are not movies. They're not playable content. Basically, these MTS files are data files. That's why you're able to fit a lot of really nice footage onto a 32 gigabyte little tiny SD card, because it doesn't actually record HD, it just records the data. And when you go into Final Cut, that's when your footage becomes HD, because it goes through a transcoding process. Alright, so what I'm doing here, I'm in Final Cut. I gotta basically create a new project. I'm gonna file save project as, I'm gonna save it in here as promo. I already saved the project, so I'm gonna just replace it here. So okay, now that I have this saved, the scratch disks are selected. I'm going to go to log and transfer. As you can see here, it basically opened up all my saved vaults, and I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to eject this one because this isn't some of the footage that I want. So now it just leaves open the stuff that I want. Okay, so now you can see all that data is basically playable right here, but it's not transcoded. It's just playing it from the data right now. So what I want to do is I want to capture this footage, transcode it into into footage that I can basically edit with and use. So I want to be organized here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Name Preset. I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to name here. There's a bunch of options. However you want to be organized. There's many ways to be organized. Like there's original name, scene, reel, counter, your camera manufacturer, the time code rate, audio, pull down. There's a million different options. I just want to keep things simple, so I'm going to just create a new one here, and I'm going to label that promo. And instead of current name, I'm just going to have a custom name, and I can type in my custom name here. I'm going to put CBS promo, and I also want a counter, so I'm going to find a counter here, throw that up there, and that's all I pretty much need for this. So here you can start your counter at 1, so it's going to have a custom name right here and a counter. Now hit OK. So now depending on how you want to capture footage, you can set your in and out points for each clip, which a lot of people do to save space and whatever. I don't do that because the way I edit, I pretty much go through everything. At the time, I don't really select my in and outs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go to the top, the first clip I shot, to the very end, and I'm just going to make sure I got video and audio selected on my import settings, and I'm going to add these to my queue. So now that they're being added, you see right here, it's starting on clip 1, and here's the process. It's going right here. And now when this is done, it will show up in my bin, and I can work with it. Now another thing is, depending on how you want your footage, there's preferences here. I'm capturing it at a nice high quality rate, but if you're working on a lower computer, a computer doesn't have as much space, or it doesn't run very well, you can capture it in this proxy mode, and that will make it considerably smaller in file size, and the quality won't be as good, but it's very you can then transcode it later and have it HD once your final edit is done. That saves a lot of space and a lot of power if you're working on a laptop or whatnot. So okay, now it sees here the first clip is done. So now, it goes to the second clip, and I can minimize this. In Final Cut, you can log and transfer and actually work with your footage while it's capturing the rest of your footage. So then you can just work with your footage and do whatever you got to do. And you got full HD footage right here. And I'll show you the footage in its raw state. It's pretty big. See, it's pretty big, and yeah, HD log and transfer mode from Final Cut. Originally, I was like, no tape, this is nuts, but it is unbelievably efficient and saves so much time and so much energy, and it's a really nice process here, the workflow in HD. And usually it goes pretty quick too. And if you have it in that proxy mode, it goes even more faster. So that's just your basic log and transfer in Final Cut. So show you the workflow here. It's very useful for quick editing, quick workflow. And as you can see here, you can play through all your stuff. And if I wanted to select this, I just set my own outs and work the way I want to work. But it's very efficient, very nice, and so I highly recommend going through and shooting HD, getting an HD camera, and going through with this workflow, because it's really efficient. As an editor, I can tell you it's a wonderful way to work with footage, and it's a wonderful process. So thank you very much, and see you next time.